No, you don't, clearly.
Clearly. Hello, everyone.
Clearly.
Such intensity. Fired up. Thinking
I'm
about
starting to
burritos.
notice my own dramatics.
Thank God. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Board gamey things.
Exactly. We're back again today with another installment of our top 50 board games of all time. That was like a sing-along ball. Top 50 board games.
They don't do those anymore.
Of all time. I mean, they
Those
might
were
on kids'
Those
channels.
were massive when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like
It's
every
like-
Christmas, there would be, I just spit
Stop.
50 feet across the room.
Disgusting.
Stars of Christmas. It was like the Sobeys commercial.
Only Canadians will get that. We're back to the top 50 games of all time. Today is our 40 to 31. If you missed 50 to 41, I'll try and remember to link it below. But if I don't worry. You could just go on our channel and then you can find it there. And if you haven't subscribed already while you're there, you could click subscribe too.
You can do all those things.
You know what? Something that we like never do until the very end of the video.
Let's tell people to subscribe.
Ask people to subscribe. I don't know.
Maybe that's why no one does.
Maybe. Does it work when people are like, hey, subscribe to my channel or else? Scram! That's what we're doing today. We are going to be doing our top 70 to 51 over on Patreon. If you're interested, we won't be doing that until the end of this series, though. Yep. So, Patreons, stay tuned. Here we go. I get to start because you started last time. You
didn't need to say, I get to start. You could have just said, I'm going to start.
I get to start because we go back and forth.
But it's so possessive.
It's a give and take. Anyways, what number am I on?
40.
40. Actually, do you want to know what's really funny? Is my number 40 is Fort. 40. 40. Now, last year, Fort was my number 23, so it has dropped once again.
That in a while.
I know, that's the problem. We haven't played it in so long. You're rubbing off on me. Fort is a game that I wish so badly was on BGA, because if it was on BGA, I would never stop playing it. I love this game. Another one of the games that kind of got us fully into the hobby, like when we first started the channel, it was Fort, Silver Bullet, and Overboss. Like those were the three games. Yep. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I played it at Level Up last year.
That's what I say. That's the last time we played it.
Yeah. So Level Up.
Man, it's almost been a year.
By the way, we are going to Level Up. If you're not going and you want to go, you should go. That's the end of my spiel. But Fort is a game where it's like a deck building game where you are making friends, eating pizza, playing with toys, and you're stealing friends from people and you're just trying to build a fort. And it's so much fun. And apparently there is a solo mode version of this that you can find on BGA or BGG, which I must try. But I love it. I love everything about it. I wish that Leader Games would put out more games like this, honestly. Because they do a lot of
I get it.
Heavy, big games.
I mean,
I want more
love
Fort.
their...
I know that you do. Yeah.
My number 40 is a game that is well known as kind of like a 3-game bundle, effectively, by the same designer, and that is Rising Sun.
Oh, let's see.
That
was your number 33 last year.
Okay, so I haven't played it, so that checks out. Mm-hmm. Rising Sun is in the trilogy of Rising Sun, Ankh, and Blood Rage. Rising Sun is a troops on a map game where you are just blind bidding for influence, effectively. It's a very, very beautiful production. It's a game that I've always enjoyed playing with Jamie's brother, Jason, who no longer plays games with us. Jason, thank you. Maybe you could play games with us again soon. But we used to play, or we have played Rising Sun a lot in the past, and it's a game that's always going to be here because it's way up my alley. I just don't get to play it as much. There is another in this series that is now higher. Rising Sun was for a long time my favorite of this series, but no longer. Yeah, and you'll find out soon.
I know why.
My number 40 is Rising Sun.
The other one's on BGA, that's why. My number 39 is new to this list, and Jeff's already talked about it in a previous video. That is Dice Town.
Yeah.
I love Dice Town. I think Dice Town might be one of the funnest games ever, even when you're getting crushed, which happened to me and Matt on New
Boy,
Year's.
did I ever.
Jeff ran train.
Holy.
I don't even know if that's the right phrase, but that's what he ran
I feel
train
like
because
that's
it's like a
very
Western.
sexual.
Never mind.
I don't know.
Dice Town is a game where you are rolling 5 dice in a little cup that looks like a sheriff's hat. And you go...
Is that what the cup is?
Mhm.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't think that's true.
Well, anyways, doesn't matter. So then you have to choose to keep a die. And if you want to keep more, you have to pay for it. If you don't want to keep any, you have to pay for it. And basically what you're doing is you're trying to collect whatever symbols to get whatever action you want. So whoever has the most 9s gets gold nuggets. Whoever has the most 10s gets to steal from the bank, etc. Whoever has like the best poker hand gets to steal a property card, and you are playing it over however many rounds until the properties run out, and whoever has the most points wins. And it is so much fun because it's impossible to play it quietly because just inherently like shaking the dice in the sheriff's helmet cup is very loud, and it's very fun. And I can only see this game going. Phew.
Same. It's yeah. I love it.
Love it.
My number 39 is a game that's going to continue to be around on this list somewhere, and that is Kalis 1303.
It was your number 32 last year.
Kalis 1303, I think, was the first worker placement game.
Ever. Kalis was, not 1303.
Yeah,
this is a remake.
Sorry. Fair.
Get it straight.
Sorry. My apologies. Kalis 1303 is an incredibly mean worker placement game that I very much want to play again at higher player count. In Kalis 1303, you are effectively building out this road as a collective group of players, and there is I can't remember what the token is called, but there is a token that is going to signify which worker placement slots will activate, and they will activate up until that token. But that token can be moved at certain points of the round. So what I mean by that is you could place out a worker on an action selection space that, again, will not trigger until the end of the round. And someone could move that token further back down the road and effectively nullify your worker placement selections. And it's so incredibly mean and cutthroat. So if you don't like that in games, I would avoid this because there's no way you can play this game nicely.
No.
It is, I think, one of the most streamlined worker placement games, and it is incredibly fun.
Yeah.
If you like mean games. Kalis 1303, one I want to play more and more. It just hasn't been hitting the table.
My number 38 is new to this list. It's a new game this year, and that is Harmonies.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be somewhere. I thought it'd be higher.
Love it, but like it's going to keep increasing because I play this game constantly. I just think it's so pretty and fun. Basically, you're building out habitats to satisfy different animal cards that you are collecting to score points, and then the different like terrain types are also going to score in their own way. I play it on BJ all the time. I've played it in person a bunch. I might do a solo mode video for this one as well now that it's a little bit more readily available because I don't really like to do those unless people can kind of get their hands on them. But this game is amazing and I love it. I want to play more of it. And it's so quick and it's so easy to teach and anybody can pick it up and it's fantastic.
I think it's my favorite of those
nature games. Jeff hates nature. Nature
like ecosystem builder type games.
Yeah.
My number 38 is the first and only train game on the list. I don't know if you know this about us. We don't talk about these types of games a ton, but we both very much enjoy train games, which is weird because Jamie doesn't normally like stock trading types of games.
You would think, but I actually apparently do.
But I know Jamie also very much likes this game, and it is a game in a series of games of other ones we very much want to try, or at least I do. And that is Irish Gauge.
Yeah, it was your number 46 last year.
Yeah, so Irish Gauge is a incredible train game where effectively you are just trying to build out train routes and get stock in multiple trains, train route companies.
Train companies.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Train lines.
Train lines, thank you. And in order to score victory points.
Yeah.
It plays, I think, pretty similarly to most train stock type games, but for some reason, Irish Gauge is just one that I think sings the best of all of them, of the ones we've played.
Yeah.
I think this one would probably be higher had we played it more last year, but Irish Gauge is so good.
Yeah, we haven't tried any of the other ones. I would be really interested in trying an 18xx game.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
That's a leap.
Yeah, maybe. My number 37, let's see where it fell last year. Okay, my number 37 was my number 33 last year, and that is Heat. Pedal to the metal.
Oh.
I love racing games. I love Heat. I think, now my definition of a racing game is slightly different than other people's. So,
No, Heat's a racing game.
No, I know, but in my opinion, I have a racing game that's higher than this.
That's not a racing game.
Apparently. But anyways, Heat is what I feel like gives you like the real feel of racing, because you're shifting gears, you have to like manage your speed around corners, you can like kind of drift a little bit, like what's that called when you're behind someone, you're like, excuse me, slipstream, whatever.
Draft, I think, was the word you were looking for.
Thank you. Yeah, so to draft behind you and you slipstream your way right up to the front. Anyways, I play this on BGA a ton. We have played it multiple times in person. I have not tried solo. We've gone through some of the different, like we did weather and all of that stuff. And I just think it's super fun. This is a great, like, not overly light racing game. Because a lot of times I find racing games can be pretty lightweight.
Yeah, that's fair. Number 37, I think, is the highest trick taker on my list, and it's a new. It's my new favorite trick taker. Oh. And it's a 2024 release. That is Trick and Snipers. Trick and Snipers is a very, very fast trick-taking game where you're not trying to necessarily just win tricks. You're trying to win tricks in specific ways by sniping them. I'm not going to get into the specifics because it's a little bit too much to explain.
We've talked about it.
But go check out some of our older videos, especially recent ones, because it's a game I've been teaching and playing so much at conventions.
Another one we'll bring to Level Up for sure.
And I absolutely adore this game. It is a fast, super fun, very cutthroat trick-taking game that you can teach and play in 5 minutes. Trick and Snipers, again, I hope they do. There's no North American release for this. It is a Mob Plus game that you can't get here right now. I do hope there's a North American release so more people can play it. But again, yes, if you're going to go to Level Up, I would love to teach you how to play it. It's by far my favorite trick taker now, which is crazy because there's some really good ones out there.
All right, my number 36 was my number 28 last year, and this is, we played it once this year with Nick, and that's Rococo, the deluxe
What number is
edition. This is my number 36.
My number 36 is Rococo.
Stop!
I'm dead serious.
That's crazy. Where was it on your list last year?
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Anyways,
I don't think it was on my list.
That's crazy. So we have a true crossover. Number 36.
That's wild.
Rococo. That does not happen often. But basically, Rococo is a game about making garments for fancy people so they can go to this fancy party. And you are like gathering resources like silk and thread and all of this stuff in order to complete different garments. And then there's a bunch of different sections on the board, which is like this kind of like town then mansion that you're trying to score points in, and there's a lot of balancing that goes on in this game, and it's beautiful. I think this game looks intimidating, but it is not a complicated game. And it's just one that like you put it on the table and it's just like
it's an experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I mean everything Jamie said is true. The only thing I'll add that I like the most about Rococo is like there's so much you can do. There's so many different avenues to score points. You can like decorate the halls if you want. You can like build dresses and
hire staff.
There's so much to do, and I think there's like a theme here that there's some other games that kind of fall into this similar type of theme that I think Jamie and I both really enjoy, and Rococo kind of falls into that bucket. But
yeah, we almost played it at GaggleCon, but we just didn't get a chance to. But I'd love to get it to the table again.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. 36, you can go again.
Well, I know we're not having a crossover on 35. It's going to be much higher on Jeff's list, I can assume, and that is Res Arcana.
It pisses me off that
That
it's
is that low. So I haven't actually played Res Arcana in a long time. We used to play it so regularly. Like, we even have a group chat with our friends Billy and Michelle from Second Stars Left. Go check them out, called the Res Arcanists, because like we used to play that game. Like, that was the game that we played.
Why don't we play with them anymore?
I know, we have to. I was chatting to Michelle.
I mean, I'm always playing, so.
Yeah. And I do play sometimes on BGA, but it's not one of my go-to games on BGA. It's an engine builder where you are trying to gather enough resources and stuff in order to secure a place of power to get points. It's a race to 10 points. Depends on the expansion, because sometimes it changes based on the expansion.
Per increases it to 13.
And you have like a mage that you start with, and they give you some kind of a special power. And there's so many different strategies that you can go with, because there's like dragons and beasts and all of these things. And it is just like, people who are good at this game are really good at this game. Some people, like when we used to play with Billy and Michelle, me and Michelle would never win. It was just Billy and Jeff. It was back and forth between the two of them. And I was just there to have a good time. But it is super fun. And I would love to get this to the table physically again, because I way prefer playing it in person.
That's fair. My number 35 is the first of a few Uwe games on my list, and that is Glass Road. Glass Road is a resource management type game where you have this very interesting kind of like resource style that depending on what resource types you have, you can like close those arms together to produce glass and other things that you need. In typical Uwe fashion, you are trying to optimize your engine in order to produce the best resources while trying to survive till the end game. Glass Road is just a really, really unique, I think, Uwe game with that resource management rondelle piece that I very much enjoy.
It was your number 25 last year. I would love to try out Black Forest, which is kind of in the same like theme series as Glass Road. Glass Road is a great game. I would like to play it again, though, because it's been quite a long time.
It has,
My number 34, I assume, was higher last year. It was my number 17 last year. This is once again because we didn't get it to the table this year. That is Merchant's Cove.
Still hanging on.
I love this game. I love
good.
Merchant's Cove.
It's very good.
The problem with Merchant's Cove is that it's the setup and the teardown. There's just so much, and not even the setup. It's a teardown. Putting it back in the box is a struggle. Basically, everybody plays as their own asymmetrical character, and you are making and delivering goods. And based on your character and how you make them, it could be all different mechanics. So like one is going to be dice manipulation. One's almost like potion explosion. One is a roll and write. And they're all different. And it's so much fun. The only other person that I know that talks about this game and loves this game also is Sam from Lord of the Board. And we actually got a chance to play it with him at Dice Tower West years ago. And I'm excited because I have all of the new stuff coming. I kickstarted all of it. I'm like, yep, whatever it is. We got Bardwood Grove in the same line, and that came with a Bard character. And I desperately want to play this again because I always have fun playing it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah. My number 34 is a game that, again, I think will continue to drop and will then skyrocket as soon as I get a chance to play it. And that is Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth.
Yeah, that was actually your number 45 last year.
So I think this is just a product of this continuous fluctuation of it's my favorite IP. I love Lord of the Rings. And I know that this experience would be something I'm just going to freak out about. And it'll probably skyrocket to like my top 15 of all time once I get a chance to play it. But we haven't had a chance to. So this is really just a ranking based off of anticipation.
Vibes and memories.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, part of our Kickstarter, which by the way, you can still late pledge our Kickstarter if you are interested in order to get a bunch of different benefits. It'll close sometime in February. Part of our Kickstarter that we unlocked is that we have to pick and play a campaign game from start to finish and stream it. We could do...
I would like to pick one if for no other reason, so I would like to paint it if we're going to stream it and do all that. So the more heads up I have on that, the better.
Well, we could pick Journeys in Middle-earth if we want to get that to the table. Or Imperial Insult. I did it again. Imperial Assault. My number 33 was obviously, must have been higher last year. What? It wasn't even on my list. That's wrong. My number 33 is Camel Up. Camel Up is another super fun game that I consider a racing game. Apparently not. It must have been in my 100, but that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a betting game.
It's an amazing game. Doesn't matter what kind of game it is. This is the best game, one of the best games ever, in my opinion.
I'm doing the thing to you that I don't want people to do to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So don't be like Jeff.
Don't be a Jeff. Anyways, this game, you are essentially racing camels, and you are betting on who you think is going to win, who you think is going to lose, and you can change those bets, and you are shaking dice out of a pyramid, and the pyramid poops out the dice. And if you're me, the dice go everywhere because I shake it too vigorously.
Yep, correct.
And then there's these two quasi camels. And they go the other way. And they're just carrying camels wherever the heck they want to go. And it's crazy chaos. I love this game. It's so much fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, I think the second edition adds the crazy camels, right?
Yes.
The first one doesn't have them. I think that's a key. Like if you've played the original Camel Up, and you haven't played like the new one, the camels that go backwards, they really make the game.
They're so crazy.
Yeah. It's very good. It's not on my list, but it's incredible. I agree 100%. My number 33 favorite game of all time is Cthulhu Death May Die.
Oh, let's see.
It was definitely higher.
It was your 40.
Okay, cool. Cthulhu Death May Die is a massive dice chucker. Cthulhu-based, as you can guess.
Give it away.
Scenario-based game where effectively you are trying to just overcome a scenario, and those scenarios usually involve a bunch of bad guys, a bunch of minions, with an ultimate like boss battle, either Cthulhu or Hastur in the season one. We do now have season 2. We haven't had a chance to play it yet.
And there's another new one.
And there is now another new one.
We're so behind.
We are very behind in our Death May Die plays, but again, requires a group that we don't have access to. But Cthulhu Death May Die is so fun. It is one of those games where you can just become like godlike, and you just start rolling so many dice, and you're just blowing up full rooms of minions, and it feels phenomenal. But yeah, Death May Die is probably one that'll always be up here somewhere. It's super fun.
When you said godlike, it made me think of New Girl and Schmidt. It was God what? Oh, it was godlike. My number 32 is going to be way higher on Jeff's list, and that is Cuba Libre. It was my number 31 last year, so it's dropped by 1. Now, here's the thing. I love Cuba Libre. I do. I don't love it as much as Jeff, obviously, but this is a war game. It is a coin game where everybody is playing as a different faction with their own. Don't look at my list.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm looking at. I'm completely zoned out.
Where everybody has their own goal, and you are playing out the Cuban Revolution. We actually did get to play this in person this year a few times.
Yeah.
And this is a game that we play async, but here's the problem. Jamie's the problem. Jamie doesn't take her turns, and Jamie doesn't like to be told what to do. So when Jeff's like, take your turn, I'm like, no. And so the game never finishes. I'm the problem. It's me, okay? But the point is,
I also am not allowed to play without her, so...
I don't want you to play without me. That's no fun for me.
It's a major lose for Jeff.
Anyways, but we did get to play it in person, which would be my preferred way to play. It does take a long time. It's obviously like... It's an experience, but it didn't take us like that long.
I mean, the problem with it too.
Everybody needs to know how to play, also, in order for it to be kind of like a.
I think we inherently increase. I should say, I do specifically. I increase the length of gameplay for a lot of these games because I'm a chatty Cathy. I like to talk about stuff outside of the game, like what's going on, what's your life, and blah blah blah. So
exactly,
that's probably a me thing.
Anyways, I love Cuba Libre. I am always happy to play it. Yeah, always.
Yeah. My number 32 kind of goes hand in hand with Death May Die, in my opinion, and that is Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness is what was it last year?
27.
Mansions of Madness is kind of another Cthulhu-based, scenario-based, investigative experience, I guess, for this one instead of a dice chucker. You are going to be playing out as a bunch of different investigators through a bunch of different scenarios, trying to figure out what's going on. And that could be a multitude of things. I'm not going to spoil any of these scenarios for anyone, but there's a multitude of things that could be happening. You could be fighting bad guys. There is a digital app that you need to play with this game you're going to roll checks depending on what your investigator's strengths are, and then certain things are going to happen depending on how you roll for those checks. It's one of our favorite games collectively. I think this one would probably go back up the list if we played it more. We just bought another. Mm-hmm. We got
to play it like 2 or 3 times this year.
We have played to death the stuff we have.
Yeah.
We have one expansion
Sanctum of Twilight
we played a ton of, and the base game we've played a ton of. So I think I was just, again, getting a bit staled out on it.
Yeah, but we're always showing it to new people.
We just bought a new expansion, and I think once I play that, it'll come back up. Because Mansions of Madness is, in my opinion, one of the best gaming experiences you can have.
You'll hear about that from me much later.
Mm-hmm.
My number 31, last one on this list, is a new game to this list this year, and a new game from 2024, and that is River of Gold. I love this game. I love it. Remember when it wasn't even on Jeff's top 10 of 2024? A travesty? I remember it well. Obviously not. It wasn't even on your top 10 of 2024.
It's insanity. Is it in my top 100? I don't think it is.
Put it on the list?
Oh, it is in my top 100.
Thank God. Anyways, this game blew me away, and I've been loving playing it. I played on BGA, played it in person a ton this year, and in River of Gold, you are sailing down a River of Gold. You could take a bunch of different actions. You could sail, you can build, you can deliver, all of these different things, and everything you're doing is just to score points. You want to get as many points as possible. There are so many different strategies that you can try in this game, and it is not an overly complex or complicated game to learn, but it has a beautiful depth of strategy, in my opinion. It's a beautiful production, and I'm just so happy that we have found this game because I really love it.
Yeah, we were piping it early too.
Yeah. That also sounded sexual.
My last one for this list, my number 31, is another GMT game. And that is Twilight Struggle.
Twice Drugs?
Twice Drugs. Twilight Struggle is a 2-player only war game where one person is playing as the Soviet Union, I guess. Yeah. And one person is playing as the American nation, and you're basically playing through the Cold War, trying to influence different regions in your favor. There's multiple paths to victory of this game. There's a space race mechanism. There's a nuclear war kind of track, DEFCON track you can go up and down, as well as just winning via superiority. Twilight Struggle is a game that I want to play more of. Joe and I were playing a fair amount on the app, and then we kind of stopped. I think Joe... Joe, this is for you specifically.
Joe?
Joe beats me in most games, and I think he gets self-conscious about it that I'm not enjoying it, which is fair.
Yeah, I worry about it, so I let Jeff win all the time.
But Joe, I always want to play games with you, so don't ever worry that you beat my butt in everything we play.
Facts.
But I want to play more Twilight Struggle, and I want to play it in person.
We just got the expansion.
Yeah, we just did get the new expansion. Jamie's never played this game.
You think I like it?
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest.
Only one way to find out.
I think you would like it, but you're going to get super competitive about it. And I think that could go, I mean that in the best way or the worst way. That could go either way. Mm-hmm. But I very much love Twilight Struggle. I think it's just one I need to play more for it to go back up the list, as I've mentioned a few times with some other games.
Fair enough, Jeff. All right, that's another 10 games to the list. The next installment, of course, will be number, where are we? 30
to 21.
30 to 21. And then, guess what? It'll be 20 to 11. And then guess what?
10 to 1.
10 to 1. That's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Just you wait. It's going to be wild. Anyways, that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you are interested in, let me do a couple pitches. If you're interested in joining our community, join our Discord. It's good times in there. If you want to know what's on the list later in life, 70 to whatever it is. 51. You could join our Patreon. If you're interested in getting a bunch of Foster the Meeple benefits and stuff, back the Kickstarter. It's a late pledge. Links are in the description below. And if you want to come hang out with us, we will be at Level Up at the end of January. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
Boardroom Game Cafe.
And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye, goodbye.
Later days.
Guess what I'm going to do in our next 2 filmings of this? I'm going to wear this sweater, and then you'll wear something different.
Very funny.
That'll be really funny. What are we going to get for lunch? The Korean barbecue place is open. Maybe
I'll have to look at the menus. Honestly, I looked at the burrito menu, and I'm like,
it's not your kind of burrito.
No, I want a dirty burrito. I want Taco Bell burrito. That's what I want. What? That's not the... Well, I was looking at my list.
Hello, everyone.
Jamie has all of these specific expectations of me.
If we start the video and you're like this...
That's just me.
I understand it, Jeff.
No, you don't, clearly.
Clearly. Hello, everyone.
Clearly.
Such intensity. You're fired up thinking
I'm
about
starting
burritos.
to notice my own dramatics.
Thank God. Honestly.
Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like,
why did I say it?
Why did I
like
say
that?
it so intensely?
Clearly. Idiot.
It reminds me of like Napoleon Dynamite.
Tina.
You just know how he always talks so aggressively. I'm just basically Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I'm basically Nacho Libre.
You're Pedro.
You just don't
No,
like
you're
me because I believe in science.
You're the science guy.
All right.
Squawking on the ground eating the chips. Okay, come on. Do you know what would be really funny on the next video if I wore this sweater?
We remember we should do that for the intro.
We're not going to remember.
I know, but imagine we did.
We have so many good ideas that we never remember.
That's true. It is.
Calm down.
Scram! Actually, don't.
No, don't scram. Scram.
To the Discord.
Scram
We'll
slightly
talk to you
away.
more. What happened? Just spit again?
And then it was like my voice like...
Blood rage. You don't think it was?
No.
Real cool.
There's 2 C's.
Well, I wouldn't have spelled it that way.
Fair.
My bank notified me. They're like, hello? Did you know this money was spent? And I'm like, I never know when any money is spent. Don't even tell me.
Okay.
1 second now, I'm busy.